Hello, world. So today, I thought I would create a tutorial on how to code in Click. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open Click, and then we're going to open the code app. I'm going to start a new file here, and let's call this Tic-Tac-Toe.python, because we're going to make a Python game that is a tic-tac-toe game. So we're going to create this file called tic-tac-toe.py, and then I go over to the code app. I want Python greater than or equal to version 3. Don't use any specific libraries, or actually, yeah, don't use any specific libraries yet. And my question is, build a text user interface tic-tac-toe game. Two-player tic-tac-toe game. Okay, and then we just go to generate results. And then within about 20 seconds, you should have the results of your app. And so is it going to be a perfect app? Is it going to be bug-free the first time? Maybe. Chances are not likely. So it took about 15 seconds and we get this awesome game here. And it gives us a nice little explanation. This code implements a text-based two-player tic-tac-toe game in Python. Here's how it works. The game uses a list of 9 elements to represent the 3x3 board index 0 through 8. It has key functions: clear screen, print board, check winner, and then main. Game flow: player takes turn entering positions. Input validation ensures valid moves. After each move, checks for winner or tie, alternates between X and O players. Okay, so this seems like a pretty solid tic-tac-toe game. Let's copy and paste it into Python. And then I'm going to go to the tic-tac-toe folder by going to change directory. Just in case we have to install any software, I'm going to start a new virtual environment folder. Okay, and then I'm going to activate the new virtual environment folder. Sorry about that. I can't spell apparently today. Okay, so now let's start the tic-tac-toe game and let's see how it worked. Mind you that this only took 15 seconds to generate. Player X's turn, select a position. 5. Player O's turn, he would like 1. Player X would like 2. O would like 8. X would like 3. O would like 7. So X would like 9. And O 1. Game over, player O wins. Okay, so we made a basic tic-tac-toe game, and it works, and that's amazing. And this is all it took was build a text user interface two-player tic-tac-toe game, and the code app knew exactly what to do. But now we can go to GitHub. I'm going to create a new repository. I'm going to call this Tic-Tac-Toe Demo. Description is demo for Click. Okay, now let's create the repository. I'm gonna upload a new file, which is our tic-tac-toe.py file. And then what I love about YoClick is that it gives you these very descriptive descriptions. So instead of just saying created tic-tac-toe.py, I'm going to say, um, you know, this code implements a text-based two-player tic-tac-toe game in Python, which is exactly what the code explained that the code does. I'm sorry, that's exactly how YoClick explained that the code does. So it gives us real helpful descriptions. And now we have a project here. So now I'm going to go to this tic-tac-toe.py and go to the raw file of it. And then take the URL of the raw file, and we're going to go back to YoClick. But this time we're going to open the rewrite app. So as you can see, there's a picture of like a little monkey. We're going to put tic-tac-toe demo for the project title, project version 0.00.1, whatever. The language I want is Markdown, because we're actually going to use rewrite to write the README for this new tic-tac-toe demo game. So as you can see, I put Markdown language, language version latest, source code URL is the URL that we just copied. And then improvements, write the readme.md for the game, for the demo game. Now rewrite does take a little bit longer. It can actually take upwards of 1 minute and 20 seconds or even longer sometimes, depending on how long your app is. I find that if you are feeding it over 100 lines of code at a time, it can take longer than 80 seconds. But while that takes its time, can already think of one improvement that we can make to this game, and that's maybe using letters for positions instead of numbers, and when you're not actively in a space, it should have like a placeholder so you know what position is which. But anyway, it already wrote down the README. The README file provides comprehensive documentation for the tic-tac-toe demo game. It includes a brief description of the project, a list of features, system requirements, installation instructions. Perfect. So basically we're going to go to copy code. We're going to go back to the GitHub. Okay. New file, create new file. It's going to be readme.markdown. And I like everything about this except the license section, because this is not an MIT license project. It just kind of hallucinated that. Okay, and now we commit changes, go back to rewrite. We can copy the awesome description that it already wrote us. Sweet. So now we have a project on GitHub with a README, and it explains how to install it and all that good stuff. And yeah, so now I can go back to rewrite, and I'm going to increment the version I'm going to change the language to Python, version back to greater than or equal to 3. And now for my improvement, I would like to have placeholders in the cells when they aren't occupied so that it's easier to tell which space, which position is which. Okay, so I want it to have placeholder text in the cells when they aren't occupied so that it's easier to tell which position is which. So this is the beauty of large language models, is that we're able to basically code in plain English. As you can see, it took a lot less than 80 seconds to do this. The initial board is now initialized with the strings 1 through 9 instead of empty spaces. Sweet. So now we go back over here, copy paste our code, open it up in Python. As you can see now, the positions actually do show up. I'm just gonna kind of hit random. Okay, I was gonna hit random numbers until somebody won, but X just won. So as we can see, it works. So now if we go back to tic-tac-toe.py, and then we go to edit this file, we can copy and paste that same code we literally just tested out in our terminal, and we can paste it here on GitHub, and then I can paste that super helpful description. And sweet. So now we have version 1.0.2. So let me go to the README real quick. And let me increment the version. This is one of the reasons why I really didn't want to have the version in the README, is because you'd have to come increment the version. But as you can see, we were easily able to update the tic-tac-toe demo to include our change to it, and that's really how easy it is to code in YoClick. And as you'll notice, the URL here for the GitHub, it leads to the heads, ref/heads, which is the head of the repository. So it's always going to pull the latest file, so you actually don't even need to change this URL. If you want to update, change something, you can just increment the version 1 and then do whatever your improvement is. So when the game starts, display an ASCII art of tic-tac-toe. Okay, so I would like the game to have some art when the person opens it. So I'm gonna have the rewrite app generate some ASCII art to display in my app. Tic-tac-toe. So it kind of came up with some good ASCII art. I don't know if it's going to work or not. That's one of the great things about YoClick, is that most of the time it works, but not all the time. Okay, so it looks like it works with the exception that there were a couple spaces that were not correct. So now if I go back, it works. Press enter to start. We got tic-tac-toe. Player X's position. Except this time the positions are not still on the board. So that was not good. The positions were not still on the board. And the ASCII art wasn't correct. So let's go back here. And just double check that we have the right code, because it's very odd that it was pulling not the latest version. In the latest version, it displays what the position is when the position isn't full, and it should have done that in this latest iteration. We call that a hallucination because because it just hallucinated something wasn't there that was there. All right, well, let's try this. Nope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this version right here. This is version 0.0.2, I believe. So this was any comments or questions. I'm going to go to the comments or questions section. I'm going to say add a title screen with some ASCII art that says Tic-Tac-Toe demo. So it was great. It was great that it didn't work in this demonstration because it's not always going to work. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, the AI is not always going to be able to accomplish it with ease. So it's great that we did have an example that did not work. So here's what it thinks is a title screen. We got tic-tac-toe, press demo to start, the positions work. Word. So everything seems to work. Player X wins. Okay. Now the only thing I didn't like is that Tic-Tac-Toe demo didn't really look that great. Yeah, this right here needed some a little bit of help, but it did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself, at generating this ASCII art. So if that was all the help it needed, then I would say it did pretty good. Sorry, I'm fixing tabs and spaces. But there we go. We have tic-tac-toe demo. Press enter to start. Bam, it works. So now we get a helpful description of this. Boom. Go back to GitHub, go to edit this file, copy paste. Tabs are 4 spaces. The description is already written by You'll Click. And then commit changes and boom, we're off to the races. Now I can go back to Tic-Tac-Toe demo. Project version 0.0.3. That's the latest version. But now I would like a Markdown README again. Latest version of Markdown improvements. Write a readme.md for the game. So this has been 22 minutes now, almost. And I think that this is the last iteration that we're going to make of this board game in Python using You'll Click, and then we're going to call it a day. So there we go. It wrote a new README that is accurate except for the license part. And now we just commit changes. I can use this awesome detailed description that it wrote. And that's it. So that's how you write code with You'll Click. You can either use the code app and it will pop out fresh code, or you can use the rewrite app and then you can provide code that's already been written and it will rewrite it with your improvements. So with that being said, thank you for your time today, and you guys have a great day coding and creating.